Hello, my name is Michael G, and have another video for you. This one is what do you sacrifice? And when some people think sacrifice, they're thinking it's a religious thing, which of course there is a lot of sacrifice in the Bible, especially with Cain and Abel, two different sacrifices, and what are the consequences of that. But let's just talk about a sacrifice before we get to the Bible, and then we'll probably either do a secondary video fully into the Bible on sacrifice. So, when you sacrifice, you are giving something up. What are you giving, and for what reason? Or you're exchanging something. It's an exchange. An example is that we work today so we can eat today and tomorrow. We'll use work first for our sacrifices. So, as you work, you are working to maintain your life today and also work for tomorrow. So the sacrifice is you're either exchanging labor and time in the hopes that you can gain labor and time when you're not able to work as much. So if you work in your 20s to, let's say, 65, we would hope that when you're 65 and until that day, that you'll be able to, maintain a living. Obviously, it's going to change depending on spending habits and personal goals. Everything that we do, we have to sacrifice for something. Has to be sacrificed. So when you look at video games, people play video games. What they're doing is they are sacrificing time. So when they sacrifice time in the future, they will have no time. They will have to work now because they sacrificed time. So what happens when you sacrifice truth? It's a big deal. If you sacrifice the truth, then you're usually doing it because you don't have faith and you want to control a narrative. So when you sacrifice the truth, there's a lack of faith because you believe with your mind, you can see the future. And you've rationalized a future that a lie will help you get to. This is what happens when you sacrifice the truth. You believe in your mind that with your vision, you could see the future. And then you will be in a more positive place in the future. So, God allows you to do this. Yeah, He does. And this is now your seed. Your seed that you're planting, the lie, is based on your will to have dominion over reality. Now, there's a lot going on here, so you might have to watch this video a couple of times. And maybe I jump around a little bit, but maybe after subsequent viewing, this will make more sense. So, you're trying to escape a reality or something that you have fear of, and you tell a lie. You put the seed of a lie so you can control reality. This is all based on the will or based on the preservation of your I. your identity and you think you're going to come out good in the end. And this is when you sacrifice the truth. So, let's go to an alternative. So, what if you don't sacrifice the truth? Then what would you sacrifice? Yourself. You will be sacrificing yourself for the truth. Now, when you sacrifice yourself for the truth, that means you are not sure of what the future will hold. You don't know or have a tangible outcome for whatever you're sacrificing yourself for the truth. We don't know what's going to happen. This is a big question mark. When you do something like this, it takes faith. When you lie because you sacrifice the truth, this is lack of faith. This is will and dominion. You have dominion over reality. This is what it is at the end of the day, because you're like, well, if I tell this lie, I can get the sale. If I tell this lie, I'll get out of trouble. If I tell this lie, but you're not saying to yourself, if I tell this lie, you'll just naturally do it. Most people don't think this through because the world is making us accustomed to lying so much. So, if you sacrifice yourself for the truth, that means you have faith in a questionable outcome that you cannot control. This is a question. We do not know. This now, it becomes our darkness, in a sense. Now, it's not really darkness, because if you really understand how the truth works, because in the Bible, and I know I was going to go this another video, but I'm just going to say the word truth in the New Testament is hidden Alpha. Alpha and Omega, hidden God is in the truth. So when you sacrifice yourself, you have faith. Potentially you would think it's darkness, but you have faith. If you have faith, you are not worried about the darkness because you know the outcome will be better for you. And this is the secret to life. When we sacrifice ourselves for upholding the truth, this is the center of faith. This is how we'll see miracles. You will not see long-term miracles here. In fact, we'll get back to that in a second. When you sacrifice the self for truth, you also have growth. And you will have an abundance of more truth and power and faith. You know, when I was younger and I used to get together with my friends and we'd go out, you know, I'm not always the nicest person because they know that at any moment would say or do something that they know that I just have no filter. Just no filter. And the reason why is that the world tries to impose on you to lie. They want you to lie because by the world imposing a lie upon you, you are actually absolving them of their lies. It's a big deal. You will have greater personal growth as you sacrifice yourself. Now, I'm not talking about enabling here. We're not talking about enabling. We're not talking about, flinging yourself on the grenade. We're not talking about stuff like that. day to day, what you do for work. Um, it's a big deal. Now, John the Baptist actually touched upon this when he was at the Jordan River, and you could read that, but we're not going to We're not going to focus on that part of the Bible yet. So let me go someplace else now. So here is the wisdom of man, and it said, and they do, is that if I sacrifice the truth, get rid of truth, and I tell a lie, they think that they're going to have a positive outcome. They might temporarily, but what ends up happening is you are now setting yourself up to become delusional, because you will now believe lies. You know how the more you tell the truth, people do not want to believe you. Because people are so accustomed to lying that when you tell them the truth, they think you are the liar. And we have this very evident in our world today. My two favorites is when they were chanting something about President Biden, and they asked the news person, said, "Oh, they're saying let's go Biden." This now, the person, whoever said that, sacrificed the truth. And you know why they did it? They did it for financial gain. And then that has taken a life of its own, and people, in a sense, are saying this now, and it really has the other meaning, which, I'm not going to say. But this person who said they're chanting "Let's go Biden" sacrificed the truth for money. A lot of people sacrifice the truth for money. A lot of people, in sacrificing the truth for money, their eyes become bigger, and now they're going to spend more money. And then they need to sacrifice more truth so that they can get more money. There's definitely wealthy people that you could hear about, and they'll all tell you they made tremendous sacrifices for the money. However, there is a string attached, and God's not going to let you off the hook. And what will happen is that you will fall for delusion, and you will live. You might be the emperor with no pants on. You might have family that doesn't know you. You might have family that it's really not family. It's really just everybody's together for money, and that's a very cold existence. You're not going to be able to live life. You're not going to have a life of reality. You're going to have a life of imagination. You have to get the next best thing to keep getting your dopamine rush. And that's what ends up happening if you sacrifice the truth. And it's like you become, more darkness comes your way, and you have to do more evil to maintain. So what happens when you sacrifice yourself? Well, when you sacrifice yourself, then the things that happen to you have a different arc. We'll still have evil befall upon us. However, we will also have the faith and strength to overcome. And then we realize it's not our strength. And you know what you're going to have? You're going to have an interesting life. And you'll be able to tell stories to people, and most people will not believe you. And your stories will have impacts on other people, because you're sacrificing yourself for truth. Truth is more important than thyself. People will trust you in time. People in the time of trouble, they can not even like you. However, you'll be steady. And we're going to come to these crossroads in our lives where which way are we going to go? Are we going to uphold truth? Or are we going to sacrifice truth? And then we will head downward towards the pit. Now, if you get together with, when you get together with people, you have to be very cautious when they lie to you. Because when people lie, they're either trying to take your money or they're trying to control your reality. And that was the whole thing with Let's Go Brandon. They tried to control the reality. Like now, and they'll use all kinds of words, buzzwords. They'll use any kind of words that they can get you to co-sign their lie. And it's your responsibility to hold up the truth. The truth is so important that you are responsible to do your own digging. When someone, when I'm having conversations with someone on politics or something, they make a statement. You know, like my current thing is on the Ukraine war, or special military operation in Ukraine. They've lost over 400,000 people. It's impossible for Ukraine to win. Impossible. Unless you want to call nuclear weapons possible. It's impossible for them to win. But if you listen to the mainstream media, and the government wants to keep funding this, sending munitions to Ukraine, and the deaths mount up, and it's an unwinnable situation for Ukraine. If the United States and the other Western nations did not coerce Zelensky to keep going, you would have well over 370 or 390,000 less deaths, or 380,000 less deaths. Because this whole thing was done to destabilize Russia. But if you listen to the mainstream media, who's the ones that told you about, let's go Brandon, not Biden, let's go Brandon, then you're going to swallow their lies. Your reality now is being augmented because you are believing a lie. These people who tell you these lies in the media, they are definitely already sold out. They sold out for money. So truth goes out the window for money. And if you're going to sacrifice truth for money, you're going to have a problem. Now, in business, I'm very big on full disclosure because I can sleep good at night. I got nobody telling me that I did this or did that. I can sleep good at night, and it's not something I really want to get into because people won't believe it. But some people, like a friend of mine, just doesn't realize how things work out. Because a lot of times, because I'm sacrificing myself for truth, uphold truth, then weird things happen because now God is orchestrating these scenarios and situations, and He puts you someplace, and then you just realize you're not in control like you think you're in control with your will. You're just not. And as you experience this, you get a confidence in this that it's out of your hands, and you're like enjoying the ride. Good and bad. And it might be very hard to believe that when you're like maybe, have a lot of debt, working so many hours and everything. Well, you know what? Let's turn things around. Start sacrificing yourself for the truth. Make truth more important in your life, and you will see miracles. Now, I'm not saying this is a success video where you're going to go and now, have millions of dollars. It's not about that. You are going to gain your life. You're going to gain a life worth living. And somehow, as you're going through this, it's going to happen in such a way that you're not going to be able to explain it to somebody else. You're just not. They won't believe you. They won't believe you. They won't believe you. As you become closer to the truth, your eyes will stay more focused and grounded, and your decisions will become grounded. More grounded decisions. You're not going to have to try and impress the person next door who does not care about you. You're not going to worry about that. I had a partner once who totally sacrifices the truth all the time. And we're driving in his car, and he said I should listen to him. Well, he had a 2-3-year-old Corvette, and that he's wise in business. And I said to him, I said, look, you got a car you don't own. You have a house you don't own. You have a boat you don't own. And you must have the Guinness World Record of $2,500 in bounce check fees in 1 month. That this person had $2,500 of bounce check fees he paid in 1 month. This guy is trying to paint a facade of success and sell me this lie because he thinks that I'm going to sacrifice the truth for money. I didn't. And actually everything went south with this partner at the time. Lost a lot of money. A lot of bad stuff happened. However, that was part of my journey. It was part of my journey. And I'm better today. And even the bad things that happened, I can safely say that if it did not happen, would not have part of the experience to be able to say this today. And this person would literally bring in partners, lie to them to bring in more money, and then muscle them out. Muscle them out. That's what he did. And, I'm a bit of a maniac in, he even threatened me one time for, to bring some guys to beat me up or something. And that was for me to believe his lie, to be in fear, because people want you to be in fear, and in the fear you will lie, and you will lie to yourself. There was a testimony of someone who was at the brink of death, and then the person confessed to a murder that he did, and after he confessed, somehow that heart attack he had didn't kill him. Because when you lie, it actually brings forth death. Death of your reality. Death of the body. And you're going to, in a sense, depending on how much you're sacrificing for that lie, you can be sacrificing your family, your health, and then the worst part is that you do it to other people. You are feeding them to hell, or feeding them to Molech, so that you can have not bread to eat, but to say that you're a millionaire now, or to say that, I want to have all this money. So you're going to sacrifice other people. You're not going to get away with this. You're not going to get away with it. They will, and then you'll trace your life back to that one lie, and then you'll see a chain of events that the more you have to sacrifice the truth, until you have nothing left. When Jesus was crucified, what they did was they crucified the truth. And this is going to be the segue for the next video. We only have a few minutes left, so let me just put this out there. When they sacrificed Jesus, they sacrificed the truth. That's a big deal. And what did Jesus say before Pilate? That Jesus came to testify of the truth. That's what that's what Jesus said to Pilate. So when you're lying to save your skin or to make that extra money, you are in a sense crucifying Jesus and crucifying the truth. So there are definitely consequences for lying. What Cain did was not only did he kill Abel, but he killed the person who was giving a good testimony, a good sacrifice. That's what Cain does. That's what the evil people do. The evil people want you not to give a good sacrifice, so they will try and find a way to put a great weight upon you and force you or coerce you to be in fear and lie, so that you can't make a sacrifice to God. This is a lot bigger than you think. That little white lie is not what you think it is. Those little lies turn out to be big lies. So when someone's lying to you or you're lying to someone, it's for one of two purposes: for money or to control reality. This is why people lie. Well, I guess we'll stop here. Hope this is helpful, and as you come to the knowledge of the truth, God bless.